Okay, let's dive in. Picture this scene. It's the early 20th century. You've got these young women, really eager, working away in a factory. They're carefully painting these tiny watch faces,
Yeah.
right, making them glow. It looked like a great job back then, this bright, modern future, literally glowing.
Yeah, but that glow, it was hiding something truly, truly awful. This story, it's more than just history. It's this huge industrial scandal.
Right.
And a medical horror story, really, full of betrayal, suffering, but then also this incredible fight for justice that genuinely changed things for workers' rights.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Pull out the key insights, the most compelling bits from the sources. We want to walk you through this story of the Radium Girls.
Yeah.
It's tragic, yes, and also incredibly empowering in the end.
It really is. It shows you the cost, the human cost, when it's weighed against profit.
Okay, so let's set that scene. Early 1900s, radium is the new wonder material, right? Almost magical.
Exactly. And companies jumped on it. You had the United States Radium Corporation, USRC in New Jersey, and then Radium Dial in Illinois. They created this paint called Undark.
Undark.
All right.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Right. Self-luminous paint, perfect for watch dials, especially military ones, so they'd glow in the dark.
And the paint itself sounds simple enough. Powdered radium, zinc sulfide, gum arabic, water.
Seems harmless when you list it like that, but how they used it, that's where the horror starts.
The lip dip paint method.
That's the one. That was the core instruction given to these young women, hundreds of them, to get a really fine point on their camel hair brushes. They were told explicitly to use their lips or tongues to shape the tip.
Just put the brush in their mouth.
Yeah.
With radium paint on it.
Yes, and why? Because it was faster. Using rags or water to clean the brush, that wasted time, wasted expensive radium material. It slowed down production.
And they were paid by the piece, weren't they?
Exactly. About $1.50 for each dial. If they painted 250 dials a shift, they could make around $3.75.
Which was what, about 90-something dollars in today's money?
Roughly, yeah. Good money for women back then, especially those looking for some independence. It drew in a lot of workers.
Okay, but here's the kicker. The companies knew, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. This is what makes it so infuriating. The owners, the scientists, they knew radium was dangerous. They protected themselves.
Ow.
Lead screens, tongs, masks. They avoided direct exposure. USRC even published papers for doctors talking about the injurious effects of radium.
So they warned the medical community, but not the women actually handling it daily.
Correct. It wasn't ignorance. It feels like a deliberate choice, putting profit way ahead of the workers' lives.
That's staggering. The deception involved. These women had no idea.
None. They trusted the company. Radium was advertised everywhere as this miracle cure-all, in cosmetics, tonics.
Right, I've heard about that, like Radior face cream or something.
Exactly. Things like Arts, Rami, Theradia. So the girls felt it was harmless. They'd paint their nails with the leftover paint, even their teeth for a laugh, make themselves glow in the dark.
Oh my God.
And Dr. von Sachaki, the guy who invented the paint, he personally reassured them the diluted paint wasn't hazardous. It's just layer upon layer of betrayal.
Which set the stage for the medical nightmare.
It started subtly almost. Dental pain, teeth getting loose, maybe some sores in the mouth.
Things you might dismiss at first.
Right. But then it got horrific. What they called radium jaw, necrosis. The jawbone literally started to just disintegrate, fall away.
I can't even imagine.
The first dial painter who died back in 1923, that's what killed her. And it wasn't just the jaw, anemia, bones becoming brittle, breaking easily.
Reproductive problems, too.
Yes, suppression of menstruation, sterility, and the initial response from many doctors, complicity, frankly. Dismissal, misdiagnosis.
So the companies actively tried to cover it up.
Aggressively. USRC, Radium Dial, they flat out denied radium was the cause. They pressured doctors, dentists, researchers not to release data linking the illnesses to their work.
That's incredible.
It gets worse. They encouraged doctors to say the women died of syphilis.
Syphilis? Why?
To discredit them, smear their reputations. If people thought they had syphilis, maybe their claims wouldn't be taken seriously. It was a deliberate, cruel tactic.
And publicly, what did the company say?
Oh, publicly, they claimed they'd hired women who were already physically unfit, almost like they were doing them a favor, just shifting the blame entirely.
Wow.
But you can't hide that many deaths forever. By 1924, 50 women at the New Jersey plant were sick, a dozen dead.
And it kept climbing.
By 1927, over 50 deaths attributed to radium poisoning among these workers. Then, in 1928, a real turning point. Dr. von Sakaki.
The inventor of the paint.
The very same. He died from radium poisoning. It was found in his hands. He became the 16th known victim. That made it much harder to deny.
And what about the other factory in Illinois?
Radium Dial in Ottawa. Workers there started getting sick too, showing the exact same symptoms. But they didn't know about the New Jersey cases, or not the full story.
So the company kept them in the dark too.
Absolutely. They did physicals, but withheld the results. Told the workers the New Jersey issues were just viral infections, even when they introduced safer glass pens. The women often went back to the brushes because the pens were slower and they were paid by the piece. They needed the money. It's just heartbreaking.
But this is where the story shifts, right? From just tragedy to fighting back.
Yes. Incredible resilience. Grace Fryer, one of the workers, decided she had to sue USRC.
That must have taken immense courage.
Unbelievable courage. It took her 2 years just to find a lawyer brave enough to go up against a powerful company like USRC. Imagine doing that while you're desperately ill.
And the media got involved.
Big time. Newspapers ran sensational headlines. The living dead, doomed women.
God, that's brutal.
Their own lawyer said, when you have heard that you are going to die, and every newspaper you pick up prints what really amounts to your obituary, there's nothing else. The public pressure was building.
So the court case? The 5 Radium Girls, Grace Fryer, and the others?
Yes, Grace Fryer, Edna Hussman, Catherine Schaub, and the sisters Quinna McDonald and Albina Larice. Their first court appearance was January 1928.
What was that like?
Just devastating to witness, apparently. 2 were completely bedridden. None of them could even lift their arm to take the oath. Their bodies were just ravaged. It was undeniable proof right there in the courtroom.
Did it go to trial?
It settled just before the jury deliberation in autumn 1928. USRC must have seen the writing on the wall.
What was the settlement?
Each woman got $10,000, which is like $183,000 today, plus a $600 annuity per year for life, about $11,000 a year now, paid weekly, and all their medical and legal bills covered.
A victory, then.
A bittersweet one. All 5 of those women were dead by the early 1930s. The settlement came too late to save them, but their fight had a massive impact.
And the Illinois case, you said that was harder.
Much harder, yeah.
Yeah.
Workers there started trying to get compensation in 1927, but kept getting denied. Finally, in 1937, 5 women, including Catherine Donahue. Her case was actually heard at her home. She was too sick to travel.
Oh, wow.
They found an attorney, Leonard Grossman, who took the case pro bono. He was just moved by how desperate their situation was.
Did they win?
The Illinois Industrial Commission ruled for them in 1938. But then, Radium Dial just packed up, closed the Illinois plant, moved the whole operation to New York.
To avoid paying.
Seems like it. And the Illinois Commission said they couldn't enforce the payout across state lines. It was a huge loophole.
So they appealed.
All the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. But in October 1939, the court declined to even hear the appeal. So the lower ruling stood, and the company basically got away with it, at least initially.
That's awful. So some of the Illinois women got nothing.
Some didn't. Catherine Donahue died before it was all over, never saw a cent. It's a real stain on the story. But even with that injustice, their collective struggle, New Jersey and Illinois, it changed everything. That's the legacy.
Okay, so let's talk about that legacy. What actually changed because of the Radium Girls?
Well, first, a huge legal precedent. It established the right for individual workers to sue corporations for damages from, labor abuse. That was fundamental. Power shifted just a little back towards the worker.
And safety standards.
Absolutely. Their suffering created this idea of provable suffering as a reason for setting safety standards. It led directly to improved industrial safety regulations, things we take for granted now.
So safer workplaces today,
Yeah.
we owe some of that to them.
A significant amount, yes. And it didn't stop there. In 1949, Congress passed a law ensuring compensation for workers with occupational diseases. That was a direct line from the Radium Girls fight.
And scientifically, did we learn from this horror?
Immensely. Their cases were studied intensely. A scientist named Robley D. Evans measured the radium in their bodies and figured out excretion rates. That led to establishing the first real tolerance level for radium exposure by 1941, a standard that's still relevant.
So their suffering actually advanced science.
In a tragic way, yes. There was even a dedicated center, the Center for Human Radiobiology at Argonne National Lab, set up in '68. They studied over 2,400 radiation exposure cases, many involving the Radium Girls, for decades.
What did they find?
All sorts of things about long-term effects. For instance, they realized that one type of radium, radium-228, might actually be more dangerous for causing bone cancer than radium-226, which was more common in the paint. Their bodies essentially became unwilling contributors to crucial scientific knowledge.
And the story itself, it hasn't faded away, has it?
Not at all. It keeps being told in books, plays, even films. That cultural presence is important. It keeps their memory, their sacrifice alive. It ensures we don't forget.
It's just such a powerful story. From that, innocent image of glowing watches
Right, that luminous promise.
to this absolute nightmare of corporate greed and physical decay.
Mm.
And then finally, this fight that led to real lasting justice and change. Their suffering wasn't pointless.
Definitely not. It laid groundwork for worker protection, for corporate accountability, things we're still grappling with, but they forced the first crucial steps.
So maybe the final thought for you listening. What does this story, the legacy of the Radium Girls, tell us today about that balance between progress, profit, and the actual value of human life?
Yeah, it's a constant tension, isn't it? When new technologies come along, new potential risks. How do we make sure we remember the Radium Girls? How do we ensure that human cost is always, always part of the calculation? Something to think about.